Y is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
So I am somewhere in Philadelphia. They're playing at another School of Rock venue
Oh, all right.
with bands from Nashville and Australia.
Okay, that's pretty sweet.
If they do not open with Land Down Under, I'm walking out.
Who, the Australians?
Yes.
Oh,
Like, I'm not saying you have to play Midnight Oil for your whole set, but like, do something that says, hey, here is where we come from. This is what we're giving to you. We're giving you Kick, or we're giving you Devil Inside.
I mean, that's where I would go. Like Land Down Under, that's too on the nose for School of Rock.
Okay.
Like I will actually be very disappointed. Like you give me a little Devil Inside, Suicide Blonde, Listen Like Thieves would actually make me really happy. Because, by proxy, I feel you could pull in a little like Don't Dream It's Over closer.
That would be nice.
Right?
Yeah.
And Beds Are Burning, would also be awesome.
Like, I guess I said, like, well, if you guys toured, you should like be doing like either the Roots or the Hooters, Hall & Oates.
Pull out some Philly soul.
That's what or something off of, like Young Americans.
Yes.
I said, like, you don't have to do something that has Philly, and you don't have to do Philadelphia Freedom.
No, you don't.
Like, just do something that's a very subtle, like, here we are.
Yes.
But oddly enough, they don't listen to me.
This is Why, with your hosts, Heidi Hedquist and Luke Poling.
You got the link I sent you for the Hello Kitty toaster.
Yes, I'm going to order it. I read the review.
I don't know. Are they? I'm sure they're outstanding.
Yes, most of them are very good, but there are a couple that say it has a weird plastic smell, but that actually doesn't concern me because every toaster I've ever owned has a weird plastic smell at first.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed with the Buy It Now, they have a set. So you can get the Hello Kitty toaster by itself, or a Hello Kitty toaster, a Hello Kitty waffle maker, and the Hello Kitty crock pot.
Wow. My niece is a huge Hello Kitty fan, as you know.
Right.
She would I could just save those and give them to her for her high school graduation in several years.
Will them to her.
Because the crock pot is not likely to get used. The waffle iron, perhaps, because you never know.
I know how you feel about Thanksgiving, but stuffing put in a waffle iron, oh, that is the Lord's work right there.
And I have a really you know this, I think. I have a very unhealthy love for chicken and waffles.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And I found there's a hot sauce manufacturer here in Northern Michigan that produces my favorite hot sauce. And their hot sauce is exceptional. There's a bunch of different flavors, but then it's owned by firefighters, and they support veteran causes and a lot of other causes, and they're all really fit the firefighter stereotype. So they work all the farmers markets. So it really is I really enjoy buying hot sauce, but they also make a hot syrup, a spicy maple syrup that is unreal. And I bought some specifically with the thought that perhaps I would make chicken and waffles someday, because I feel like that would be the perfect chicken and waffles.
And invite a firefighter over to have them with you?
Of course. All of the whole,
it would only be
the whole place.
Whole house. Just slide down the pole and come on over.
Yep. Actually, I'd come there and I'd be like, when are you going to convert this into like a place where you can bust ghosts?
True.
Where's the automobile? I have to start our conversation a little bit selfishly. I have in my possession a very important thing to me from a trip I took many, many years ago with one of my best friends. And there's actually two of these, but I only brought one out. And it is an Airsickness bag.
Nice.
Upon which we wrote, this would have been probably 15 years ago. We wrote all of the hilarious things we said and did on this very drunken, very badly behaved women in the islands vacation. And I still keep it. Sometimes I use it as a bookmark so I can reference it. It's very important to me. So I have some sort of affinity and affection for a barf bag myself.
No, so that's a great thing about barf bags is even if somebody goes on a trip and wants to bring you something from the islands and forgets, they can still, just before they get off the plane, pick up something and bring it to you.
You're so
And
right.
apparently on your flight back, you made use of that.
Yes, we did. We did indeed. I'm fortunate in all of my travels, I've never had to actually use it for its original intended purpose,
Good.
but I've certainly used them for many things.
Where did you
This
go?
being my favorite. I've traveled a lot from when I was
Oh.
little. I lived half the time in England and half the time in the US. So I was on planes
Oh.
by myself a lot as a kid. And then as an adult,
Cool.
just for fun too. But yes, so they are, and so with this love in mind, you've obviously taken it to a whole other level of appreciation.
Well, a lot of collectors are German and I used to say for whatever reason, but in Germany, they get 6 weeks of paid vacation every year. And it's kind of a trophy for, oh, look, I visited Bangladesh on vacation. So you would think that me as a collector, same type of thing, but no, not really. I don't really, I've been out of the country, but I don't travel that frequently.
So what compelled you to start collecting?
I need attention, I guess.
We're going to be fast friends. Perfect.
So it was one of those things that I just thought, oh, you know what? I bet nobody collects these. It seems absurd. It seems like something, a dandy conversation starter. They're not, but it seemed like it could be.
I'm surprised it's not. You're hanging out with the wrong people. You're clearly hanging out with the wrong people.
Yeah.
That's the issue. It's not the collection. So obviously you are not the sole collector, as you
No.
mentioned, and as demonstrated on your website. What was it like when you realized you were not alone in this collectibles area?
Actually, when I first started, I was in college and I was in a fraternity and somebody else in the fraternity said, oh, I see you're collecting these. I have a friend back in New Jersey who collects these too. So I already knew, like right at the outset, that other people did this. By the way, 35 years later, I ended up meeting that guy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it wasn't like romantic or anything. But,
No, but I think that's amazing. All those years later, your paths crossed. How did you know it was him? How did you know it was the same guy?
Oh, we talked over the internet.
So
we
you'd
knew
been,
it was
you'd be interacting. Gotcha. Oh, that's super cool.
But so I knew that there was this one guy, but I still thought nobody collects these. And, in the 80s, how could you tell?
Right.
There were, on occasion, I would hear of them, but then around 95, when people were on the web, that's when I started realizing, oh, wait, there's a lot of people who do this. And I say a lot, but, way more than you'd think.
Right. More than most people would expect. Was there, and especially early on, did you have any, because even with all of my travels, I will tell you, I had no idea some of the artwork. Like I clearly haven't flown Virgin enough because the artwork on those bags, it's really fun.
Well, so depending on which ones you're talking about, if you're looking at the design for chunks, that was a design contest put up by the Swedish guy named Dean, who said, oh, this is whimsical. This is a whimsical vehicle for a design competition. Let's go and do it. So I can only imagine what they rejected, but
Probably some doozies.
But they selected 20 different designs, and Virgin Atlantic said, we will go and put these on our planes.
It's awesome.
It was,
I mean,
it was great.
Make you feel better. You don't feel good if you actually really need it for the reason you need it. It would have been terrible for my purpose of writing all my stuff on it, because the art would have gotten in the way. But if you actually,
By the way, as an aside for that, so that's a plain white bag, which we collectors typically are not happy about.
no, clearly.
But if you ever fly United and some other carriers, Northwest used to do this. They went from plain white to a dark blue, so that it would stop people from writing on it, because, you know, that's 3 cents off the bottom line of some billionaire.
But then someone could take it with them as a souvenir, as we have talked about, or as a gift, and write a nice card on it. And then that person would always be reminded of that airline, and that would be their preferred airline. This was from US Air back in the day.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yes. But no, it's funny the different thoughts of how to get to the bottom line people have, for sure. Well, the other thing that first of all, when did you come to the point where you felt you wanted to share your collection through the web and share it to where someone like me could check it out?
Well, so by my career choice, my first career choice was as a programmer. So when the World Wide Web came along, you know, I put stupid things out there. It's like, hey, look, you know, look at these comic strips or whatever. But then I thought, this is a perfect vehicle. Why don't I just teach myself how to create a website and put it out there and see what happens? And then people found me, and that's when I found other collectors. And, you know, trading is really where it's at, because it's unlikely. I have, I don't know, 3,600 bags. I forget exactly. It's on the website.
Mm-hmm.
It's unlikely I'm going to take 3,500 flights. So
Right, true.
so you got to trade with somebody.
Sure. With that, is there, you know, obviously through the trades, and I know there's you have a sort of a list of desired pieces you'd love to have, which, by the way, I never knew how many branded politically charged Airsickness.
Oh yeah, it's a big thing.
It's huge. Just from your list, it's a big thing. I'm not sure what that says about anything, actually.
I will say one thing. It's very bipartisan.
It seems to be, yes. It definitely does. So that's a good thing. It's universal. Yeah. Is there anything? Oh, go ahead. I feel that we in this country could come together over this. I think this is how we fix everything. Maybe
That's
you have found the key to solving all the disagreeing in the world. This is it.
Yeah.
We've all been looking at the wrong place on the plane. We've all been focused on the screen. We needed to be looking at that pocket below us. Is there anything on that list, or perhaps not on that list, that is the ultimate? That is the one you just...
Well, the one that I have what I feel is the ultimate, the space shuttle bag. Because
yes,
what you know,
yeah.
What else is there?
Right, where do you go from there? You've been to space and beyond.
There's a designer, having lived in England, you might appreciate there's a designer named Lydia Leith. Mm-hmm. And she, over the years, has put out commemorative bags for different types of events. For example, do you remember the Diamond Jubilee a few years back, where the Queen would just ride around in the car all day?
Yes.
I don't have one of those, but I would love to.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
But she's put them out for various royal weddings, royal baby, you know, when Prince Andrew had a baby, and, you know.
And were those like specifically for like British Airways, or was it for other things beyond the airplane?
So these weren't specifically for airplanes. These are just, which I really appreciate, when someone will go through the whole process of making a sick bag without ever intending someone to use it. It's like, oh, right. This is making a social statement.
Yes, absolutely. Back to our earlier conversation of there's things we can do with this. We can go places.
I think most of the other collectors seem to be more about completing their all the airlines that have ever existed, every
Sure.
variation of every airline. And I certainly want to do that too. But to me, I find much more interest in, oh, here's a bank that put out a bag saying, do loan rates make you sick? It's like, that's
I mean,
pretty-
it's hilarious. It's,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, you can't help but pay attention and laugh a little bit. Yes. So you said you switched career paths. Where did you go
Yes.
after the programming side?
I now run a company called Fit Packing, and we take people on backpacking adventure vacations to get fit and lose fat.
Okay, that's amazing. That's a whole other show in and of itself. How did you go down that path?
Oh, so I was working at an investment firm, and it was paid great. It was a great situation, lucrative. But every day I'd come home and say, is this the day that I stick a fork in my head? And,
Yeah. Yep.
and I said, I like backpacking. Maybe I could get people to go backpacking with me. I'm sure. What could go wrong? So,
Possibly go wrong.
so
how
I
long have you
started
been?
that.
So how long have you been doing that?
2005 was the first year. So I've been doing it for quite a while.
And
And I'm old now, so nobody wants an old programmer.
Well, nobody wants an old PR person either, but it's, we
Oh,
could-
you're
we
not
s-
old,
We
but
still
yeah.
could do it. We could still get out there and do it. So do your travels take you all over the country? Are there particular areas? you have?
Mostly domestic. Although I have been I did take a group to Patagonia and Chile.
Amazing.
So yeah, I've been around a little bit, but for the most part, I keep it domestic.
That's awesome. And are most of the people who
Ultimate-
come experienced or new to backpacking, or? Both.
Get some of each. We actually get a lot of repeat
I
participants.
bet.
So either I'm doing something right with respect to bringing people back, or I'm just really terrible at generating new business.
We're gonna go with the former. But either way, it works. As long as it's working,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter which reason it's working. And do you have branded fit backing sickness bags for everyone on the hike?
No, yeah, I felt that I've kept them completely separate for the most part. Although sometimes on trips, I'll when you get to know people who you're going to be in the woods with for a week,
Yeah.
say, tell us something about yourself. And I will say, I have the 10th largest something in the world.
That's
And then
amazing.
And then later on in the trip, I'll say, oh yeah, 10th largest barf bag collection.
How's the response?
It varies.
Well, I feel that the repeat clients get it. I feel
Yeah,
like they
so
do
yeah.
get it. So they win.
So how did you come across the museum?
Luke actually found it, and we're always, because of obviously the nature of the show, is looking at all the different, we love fascinating hobbies and
Mhm.
careers and all of that. I mean, this is completely in our wheelhouse. We have things that give you just a look on life that's a little more fun and a little off the beaten path per se. And I'm trying to remember how Luke discovered you, if he was looking for you or found you. But if he's able to
Oh.
join us, we'll find out. But regardless,
Okay.
we were both very excited. He was very excited to tell me when he found you, and then I was very excited to have you come on board. So we're it's just, and you have exhibits on the site too, right? Where other people.
So let's see, the way I kind of frame it is I curate other people's collections.
Mhm.
So there are a fair amount of guys, and it's mostly guys. There are some women who collect barf bags, but I don't know, 5-10%. And I will get a message saying, my wife wants me to throw these out. Do you want them?
Yes.
That's essentially what it is.
Amazing.
So I get a lot that way. But once you get over once you're in the 2,000-3,000 bag range, you don't see a lot of the uncommon ones anymore. Like you get a lot of the same one. Oh, look, not that I'm complaining, but it's like, oh yeah, I
Right.
have this Lufthansa, I have this British Air, I have the Delta, whatever.
Sure. Are you ever nervous when you open the box of if there might be chewed gum in there?
No, I'm not nervous. I'm
Ugh,
somewhat excited. It's like
I
it's like
guess.
I've considered doing one of those unboxing videos that they have on YouTube, but
You absolutely should do that.
I'm not a Gen Zer, but maybe
It doesn't
maybe I could.
matter. You could totally do it and it would be awesome. And you might do you ever find things within there?
Oh
Is
yeah,
there
there's stuff like you
beyond
said.
chewed gum?
No, they're funny you should say chewed gum. I have found chewed gum in there. It's kind of
Yeah.
gross.
I know, but I found chewed gum in the back, like in the back of several on planes.
Oh yeah. Right, people just put them in
So,
there. And...
yes. Like they do. I mean, you got to give the flight attendants credit. They do come up and down and ask for trash an awful lot. It's really easy to take it and just throw it away, but it's okay. They might forget.
Another common thing is people put diapers in there, but no one's
Oh.
ever sent me that. So
Thank God.
thankfully,
Yeah, that would be cause for alarm, I think, if you.
extra postage.
Yes, definitely extra postage. So maybe that's what keeps them away. It's not the not wanting to send you something disgusting. They just don't want to pay for it.
Right. So, I deal with a lot of people. I meet virtually a lot of people who are into various airplane memorabilia.
Yeah.
And I don't know how people collect like model airplanes of various craft because they don't stack. Like I have enough problems figuring out what to do with flat bags, let alone
Right.
something that's big and bulky.
How do you store the bags? Do you categorize them by date,
I
airline?
store them alphabetically. Here, I'll show you. Just happen to have them here. So
Oh, wow.
probably
Yes.
National Airlines, NATO. I can actually see what they are. I don't know what
Yes.
that one is offhand. NEPC. That's anyway. So I keep them in,
Very cool.
and I have a couple shelves of them up here, and
Do you
yeah,
have any
3
of
ring
the-
binders.
Do you have any of them framed? Are there any, like, is
I
the
don't.
NASA one, does the NASA one have a special container?
It doesn't do that. I really need to, but it hasn't happened.
Yes. It's a little
There is
like
a guy,
showbox.
There's another collector, an American collector, Bob Grove in San Diego. And his house, well, at least a few rooms in his house have floor to ceiling bags under glass.
Wow.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
amazing. Have you been there? Did you go out?
I've
and
only
see it?
I've only seen videos. I've never been there.
Wow. That's amazing. What, I wonder, do you know what inspired him to collect? That seems pretty intense.
I don't. Yeah, I think most of us are either travel a lot or just
Yeah.
think, hey, this is something cool to collect. I think actually on a philosophical note, I believe there are people who are collectors and people who want to throw everything out.
Yes.
And even hoarding to some degree. Like I could, if circumstances different, I could see myself becoming a hoarder. This actually focuses me on one thing,
Mhm.
and then anything else is expendable. I
Yeah.
don't need to collect it.
That makes sense. That totally makes sense. Did you have any other things you collected as a kid?
Oh yeah, stamps and coins, but like every kid does that.
Yeah.
But then I started sardine keys. The
Okay,
things
yeah,
because
That's
who collects those?
right. I love the
But-
need to be like the unusual collector. I think that's really cool.
So the problem with sardine keys, besides the fact that you hardly see them anymore, is that they're indistinguishable from one another.
That's true. You have to
Yeah,
like tag them.
Right? Can you tell the Underwood from the King Olaf?
Yeah, that's too much work to have to categorize it and do all that for the curation.
And I was after I started Airsickness bag collecting, I considered starting another collection. So I have a t-shirt from the Olympics in Athens from 1996.
Wow.
So that sounds great. Oh, only the 1996 t-shirts, the 1996 Olympics were not in Athens.
Right.
So it's a wrong shirt.
Right. But
Or
that's
like
so
if-
cool.
Or like in the, I'm sure there are I'm sure there are Miami Heat NBA championship
Right.
2023 shirts out there that are wrong.
Of course, because
So-
they always have to have everything ready to run immediately. And there's at least a few out there that they ran as a test. That's a good
So-
collection too.
So I considered that and I thought, it's for someone else to do.
That would
it
take
would be
up way
cool.
more. It would be cool, but it would take up, you'd have to have like a brick and mortar museum for that one.
Mhm.
You'd run out of space pretty fast.
This Museum of Incorrect T-shirts.
I mean, we would come. It would be awesome. There's a lot of great things that could be on there. I mean,
Yeah.
back to the politics, the political ones alone you could have.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Oh
Right.
my gosh, so many. So what's on the horizon next for the collection or for the backpacking or just for the summer for fun?
Well, I'm going to be a bit of a downer. I was in the emergency room last week and I had a
No.
follow-up. I had a doctor's appointment this morning. I have a doctor's appointment this afternoon. Something that I'm not going to get too detailed, not life-threatening, but it's been a concern for me. So
Oh,
I may have to have
sorry.
surgery later in the summer. But again,
Oh.
it's something that's not life-threatening. So
Right, so
unfortunate.
that's good. So you're fixing it, so that's good. Or
Yeah.
whatever you need to doing what you need to do or what they need to do to get you
So-
back.
I'm just glad to bring it down a little bit.
That's okay. That's what Luke usually does. We talked to Santa one year, like from the
Oh.
League of, I can't remember the official title, the League of Santa Clauses, and he's the Macy's or the Macy's Santa Claus in New York. Like he is Santa, the real Santa, obviously. And Luke immediately proceeded to ask him about sick and dying children. And I went,
Oh no.
well, how do you make Santa sad? And he's like, I have no idea where it came from, but I was thinking as you're like doing good and helping. I'm like, oh dear Lord.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But no, well, I
Well,
wish you so much
If you
wellness.
do, if you go to the website and do a search on Santa, you'll see that I have a barf bag from SantaCon 2015 or whatever it is. Sometimes they'll do things like that.
I mean, you definitely need barf bags on that sleigh. You can't be flying all over the world with some crazy reindeer and not have a need.
Right, you'd
And the
think.
time constraints, they're going so fast. This is an important thing to have. I feel
Mhm.
like they should have them. Like, why don't amusement parks have barf bags? Like,
Disney has toyed with that. If you go to one of their rides had, and I'm thinking back in the 90s where they handed out bags.
okay.
And I'm not sure if that was because they had to or because it was like, hey, look, this is so amazing, you're going to get sick.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it marketing? Was it branding? Was it
Yeah.
necessary?
It was the now that I remember, it's the Star Tours ride.
Oh, I
which-
love that ride.
So I don't know if it still exists. I guess it does.
It does, but it's now sadly very dated because they've added a lot of new Star Wars rides that are extremely elaborate. So Star Tours is one of those ones that's it's nostalgic and fun.
It's a nostalgic throwback.
Yes, exactly, which are my
It's-
favorites. So
It's not like what was I gonna say? This is what I heard is the Back to the Future ride was closed because nobody knew what it was. I'm like, oh my God,
so
I'm so
sad.
old.
No, that's terrible. And that was a great ride too. I love that
Yeah.
ride.
Ugh.
No, I'm always devastated when something gets repurposed and it's something that was like iconically from my childhood.
Mhm.
And that would be one of them because that was a great ride. And we've passed all the dates for, right? Haven't we, there was something I think we've gone through all of the dates, even for when they're in the future, haven't we, in the films?
Yeah, it was
A little while ago, right?
2015, I believe.
That sounds right. We were supposed to have our hoverboards, but that's all right.
Still waiting on mine.
Me too. The DeLorean also definitely needed air sickness bags for sure. And Bill and Ted's telephone booth also could have
Oh yeah,
used
that's
them.
true. Right. Any of these types of things.
Yes, that could be the next chapter of the collection, is the time. You've been to space. Now all you can do is collect time travel.
That's right. 'Cause do you get sick in time while moving through time?
Right?
That's
That's a good question. The world may never know. That's going to be your next 1,000 bags, is from various eras. You'll have some sort of Roman sickness bag from a bacchanalia that someone will bring back through time.
For more information and to visit the virtual museum, check out their website, airsicknessbags.com.
Why the Podcast is produced by the Professional Production Company. Please be sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, because we're shallow and need constant validation. For more information, you can check out our website, whythepodcast.com. And like everyone else, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Today's show was recorded and produced by Heidi Hedquist and myself from our world headquarters, located on the second floor of the professional office building, centrally located downtown. Our reluctant executive producers are John Sauvé and Sandy Stone. Our willing producers are Rachel Allen and Randy Jeanette. Our intern is Zach Jackson. This one's for Philippe. Thanks for joining us. Flash, we're coming home.
Nigel, is that you? Are you here, Nigel?